in the vast embrace of the desert, where golden sands stretch beyond sight, and the wind carries secrets older than kings. A heart beats with a rhythm softer than dawn. The heart of Fazza, Prince of Dubai, whose spirit belongs not only to thrones and crowns, but to the tender kingdom of love. He walks through palaces with quiet strength, yet his soul lingers where poetry is born, between the murmur of fountains and the hush of desert nights. His eyes, deep as Arabian seas, carry storms and calms alike, and in their reflection lives the story of every dreamer who ever dared to love. The falcons know his freedom, the horses know his fire, the waves know his longing, and the stars know his silence. But what the world forgets is this, that even princes crave a hand to hold, a smile to soften the weight of destiny, a whisper of love stronger than armies. For Fazza's love is not ordinary. It does not dwell in shadows, nor is it dressed in jewels alone. It rises like the desert sun, fierce, eternal, unbroken, a light that touches every soul. Who dares to walk beside him? Once, beneath the canopy of endless night, when the moon poured silver over the dunes, Fazza lifted his pen to write. Not about power, not about war, but about love, the invisible kingdom that no crown could contain. He wrote of a woman whose presence was like jasmine carried on the wind, whose laughter rang like water in dry valleys, whose eyes held galaxies uncharted. She was not just beauty, but the mirror of his soul. And though the world called him prince, she called him simply beloved. The city lights of Dubai glittered far, towers reaching like prayers into the sky. But in his chest burned a different empire, built not of steel and stone, but of tenderness and trust. He dreamed of walking with her through the quiet of dawn, camels resting in the shade, horses grazing by the water, while he whispered verses only she could hear. In those verses, love was not weakness, but the crown he chose to wear, brighter than gold, truer than titles, stronger than time itself. Love for Fazza was an oath, a promise sealed not by politics, but by the desert wind, the waves of Jumeirah, and the stars that never lied. He vowed to guard her heart, like falcons guard the sky, to ride through storms, as his horses ride through fire, to hold her close, as the desert holds the memory of rain, and she, in return, gave him a kingdom larger than Dubai, the kingdom of her heart. Thus, love and royalty entwined, like two rivers meeting beneath the moon. The world saw him as leader, but she saw him as man, a man of poems and silence, a man of courage and tenderness, a man who, despite the weight of crowns, still knelt before the throne of love. Love is not measured by distance, nor by the walls of palaces, nor by the watchful eyes of kingdoms. It is measured by the beating of hearts, two rhythms that refuse to break, two souls drawn together, like the tide to the shore, like the desert moon to the dunes. And so it was with Fazza. The world knew him as prince, as leader, as poet of Dubai, but in her presence, he was simply a man in love. He would ride his horse through the desert, the winds carrying his laughter, the falcons soaring above. But no matter how far he rode, his heart always galloped back to her, in the hush of night, when the city slept beneath its jeweled towers. He would take his pen and carve verses upon the silence, lines of longing, lines of devotion, lines of fire that only she could quench. Your name, he wrote, is the echo of oceans, your eyes the lanterns of my sky. If the desert is endless, then so is my love, and if the stars burn eternal, so shall my heart for you. She read his words like one drinks water. After days in the desert, each line a salvation, each word a crown more precious. than all the jewels of the earth. But love is not always silence and poetry. Love is courage. The courage to stand before the world and say, "This is the one my soul chose." And Fazza, though born of royalty, feared no judgment. He held her hand in public, not as prince but as man. He let the world see what few leaders dared. That love is not weakness, but the greatest power of all. One evening, the sea of Dubai was kissed by the glow of sunset, and Fazza led her to the shore. The waves whispered their vows, the breeze sang their future, and the falcons wheeled above like blessings. He turned to her, eyes burning with a fire. "No crown could dim. I could offer you palaces," he said, "or kingdoms, or treasures of the world. But I offer you something greater. My heart, unbroken, undivided, eternal. For what is a prince without love? What is a ruler without someone to rule the kingdom of his soul?" She answered not with words, but with a tear that shone brighter than pearls in the sea, a tear that told him, "You are my forever, Fazza." And so the love deepened, woven not of silk but of trust, not of gold but of faith. They walked together through gardens, through desert nights lit by stars, through bustling streets alive with laughter. Everywhere they went, the people whispered blessings, for they knew love when they saw it. Royal yet simple, powerful yet tender. At times, the weight of duty pressed hard. Councils to attend, leaders to meet, the endless march of responsibility. But love is patient, and she waited with grace, knowing that though his crown belonged to the world, his heart belonged to her.